It all begins in the capital of Antares. A dragon roars, spewing fire and crushing everything beneath its massive feet. Chaos reigns. A man on horseback asks about the state of the war, and his companion responds that they've already lost 200,000 soldiers, with over 300,000 wounded. Still, they believe it's worth it, because the Demon King is about to fall, and the world will finally be purified. Meanwhile, inside the castle's main hall, the hero Alex von Hella declares that the villain's reign ends today. Standing before the Demon King's throne, he announces that it's time for him to return to the shadows. The Emperor of Antares, an elderly man named Cyrus, notes that today's devastation has struck his own empire. Lepenhardt, however, questions why they insist on labeling his empire, Antares, as evil. After all, the sun and moon rise there just like anywhere else. Tessin, the hero of fists, asserts that all the corrupted creatures created by the king will vanish with him. The king counters, claiming he never passed corruption on to them. He merely taught them to survive and fight like humans. Leaning forward, he asks if the 4 kings have fallen. Cyrus confirms. Yes. That filthy orc couldn't withstand his sword. Lepenhardt is stunned. Could it really be that Tacit, the legendary orc, is dead? The truth is, orcs were innocent, loyal beings, living off hunting and gathering. Tessin remarks that calling them the 4 warrior kings was absurd anyway, especially since the troll had paid for his sins. Lepenhardt recalls Guru Attica, thinking that trolls, despite their menacing appearance, were just natural creatures seeking to purify their souls. Saint Ellen adds that the strange dwarf who worshipped dark gods has also been set on the right path. The protagonist covers his face, frustrated. They really think anyone who doesn't worship their gods automatically reveres darkness. Jade, the mage, chimes in. Even the dark elf has perished. Lepenhardt remembers a healthy, fertile blonde girl who remains alive, and fury surges. He demands whether they truly desire death so eagerly. Tessin shouts that dark elves were consumed by darkness and deserved no mercy. Lepenhardt retorts, she's not a dark elf, just a tan elf. Humans destroyed her forests, forcing her into sunlight, giving her a tan. Naturally, the hero ignores him. Alex declares that his sword will bring the end, and the Demon King's eyes darken. Words are pointless now, he says, but the hero insists that if it weren't for his evil power, none of the creatures would have been corrupted. Lepenhardt realizes the conversation is futile. To them, any race not living as a human slave is inherently dark. The hero charges. Lepenhardt mutters, "Fine, he'll become the Demon King they crave." Flames erupt across the room. He begins explaining that, long ago, he was just a simple archmage. Humans had ceased seeing other races as equals. Elves were pretty, long-lived servants, dwarves ideal miners, orcs strong laborers, trolls used for harvesting healing ingredients. All were treated as property, stripped of dignity. But during one expedition, Lepenhardt encountered these tribes and began understanding their lives and unique magics, from elves' elemental control to trolls' witchcraft. Through this, he became the first to reach the 10th circle of magic. His perspective shifted. He could no longer watch races be enslaved and began rescuing those suffering under human oppression. His territory expanded, leading to attacks from human armies. Though defending himself, his village grew, and thus the Empire of Antares was founded, not out of hatred, but as a refuge for all other races. Yet now, even peaceful people were slaughtered, accused of demon worship. Activating his magic, he asserts his duty as ruler to protect the empire. Alex von Hella is struck by the first spell and crashes to the ground. Lepenhardt notes that people call him a hero for skill in both swordplay and magic, but he clearly hasn't mastered either. Specialists are always the strongest, and now he faces one, the king of fists, Tessin. Tessin lunges. Lepenhardt dodges, aware that this is a man who's spent his entire life perfecting a single technique. Victory won't be easy. Suddenly, the castle's outer barrier explodes. Tessin charges in, ready to smash the black shield, shouting victory. The Demon King takes a brutal blow to the head, blood flowing, but magically shields himself. He realizes he can't win while overthinking. Tessin moves closer, claiming he'll send him to a peaceful place, free of his evil nature. Lepenhart recognizes that Tessin, like the others, truly believes other races exist only as slaves. Desperate, he draws an ancient artifact, the Eye of Spacetime. Not even he, a 10-circle mage, has fully mastered it. Taschern asks his intent. Lepenhart answers, he will rewrite space and time. Tessin leaps, punching mid-activation. A blinding light flashes. Smoke erupts, engulfing the castle's top. Energy swirls, expanding, seemingly annihilating the Empire. The scene shifts. A small bird rests on a branch near a peaceful cabin. Curtains flutter in the breeze. Someone inside wakes, curious about the chirping. Warmth surrounds him. Slowly, his eyes open. The relic, did it work? Though a genius with magic, he never expected to activate it with sheer force. Sitting up, he surveys his unfamiliar surroundings. He's traveled through time, but where? A massive foot hits the floor, size 59 shoes. The man stares at his body, calloused hands, scarred muscles layered upon muscles. He's a mage, a summoner, a circle caster. What's he supposed to do with a perfect six-pack? His face, unrecognizable. Once confident, admired by elves, now strange, almost Tessin-like. Perhaps the relic malfunctioned, or he swapped bodies, or even minds. Someone calls, demanding when Tessin will wake. A towering man, probably 16 feet, storms in. It's morning training time. Tessin, bewildered, insists he doesn't know the man. Gerard, scratching his beard, scoffs at the old. I lost my memory. Tessin tries to explain he really doesn't know who the man is. The older figure cuts him off. Quit using that I lost my memory excuse. You've pulled it twice already. It won't work again. Before Tessin can protest, the man grabs him like a tennis ball and drags him off. It becomes clear, Lepenhart, a 10-circle mage, has ended up in the body of the strongest man in the world. From now on, he's going to be called Tessin, otherwise, nothing will make sense. Judging by everything going on, this man is Tessin's trainer, the former King of Fists, Gerard Chrome. Poor Tessin's legs are tied up. He begs to be heard. Gerard silences him with a hand over his mouth, commenting that he's far too talkative today. Without warning, Gerard grabs a piece of bamboo and smacks Tessin straight in the abs. The mage cries out in pain, confused. But that's just the beginning. The beatings continue relentlessly. As the strikes rain down, Tessin recalls Cyrus, the fierce little elf girl, wishing for peace. Gerard, meanwhile, notices the body he's inhabiting feels weaker. Apparently, Tessin really did lose his memories. But that doesn't matter. The Academy of the Indomitable is notorious for brutal training. Memory loss is a common side effect. And the quickest way to recover? More beatings. Gerard lectures as he pummels Tessin. Humans are weak because they rely on weapons. Armor, swords, fools use them to hide their flaws. A true fighter trains his body until it is unbreakable. Tarzan dares to question this, only to be scolded. Gerard explains. The human body is like steel. Hit it enough, and it grows stronger. Not everyone becomes steel, but if you're rare enough, you'll realize the vast ocean within yourself. Finally, after a day of near exhaustion, Gerard declares training over. Tessin collapses, shaking, exhausted, but thankful. In the cabin, he's stunned to find himself soaking in a potion-filled bath. Potions worth 10 silver coins each. Gerard explains the logic. Metal must be cooled before it can be hammered again. The method is brutal but efficient. Push muscles to the brink, then regenerate using aura and potions, training endurance while minimizing lasting damage. Tessin contemplates the timeline. If his older mind inhabits Tessin's body, where is his younger self? Could two versions of the same soul exist? Either the younger Lepenhart is alive elsewhere, or his body carries the King of Fists' soul. The stakes of encountering himself in the future are terrifying. Two souls in one timeline might be destroyed. Training continues. Lepenhart floods his body with food, then climbs a mountain for grueling exercises. One-finger push-ups, cliff-edge crunches, back to bed utterly destroyed. Every escape attempt is met with failure. Gerard, ever watchful, reminds him, his training method has been used for over 130 years, and no student has ever escaped. Even if he ran, Gerard would hunt him down. 2 years pass. Tessin is slammed against a wall by a massive weight, chains clanging to the ground. Gerard nods in approval. Tessin has awakened his aura. Even Cyrus, the famed sword hero, didn't awaken his until after 20. But Tessin is surprised. This was the bare minimum expected. Physical endurance cultivated through grueling exercises and survival instincts leads to vitality. With vitality comes energy. From energy, aura is born. Gerard tells him the next phase is simple, yet terrifying. Now you're going to start throwing punches at each other. And so the beatings continue. Years later, at a waterfall, Tessin stands focused, summoning aura into his fist. He prepares to release the Sharia punch, his arm pulled back, ready to strike the cliff wall. He mentions he's managed to stack 3 layers. That seems to be his current limit. This is a fairly straightforward technique, allowing him to concentrate all the energy in his body into a single strike. The aura is layered in stages, which is why it's called a horn, reminiscent of a horn's rings and ridges. At its maximum, a skill could form 9 layers. Rumor had it that at that level, it could even fell a god. Even Tessin from his previous life had only reached 7 layers. His master once said that the day he hit 4 stacks, he would finally be allowed to leave the mountain. But the old man had left the village, so he had to wait. If this had been his past self, he probably used this moment to attempt an escape. But instead, he decides to try something else. The kid begins practicing Lepenhart's old magic, the Demon King's power. You'd think he'd stick to punching, but he realizes he can still cast spells from his previous life, provided he can gather enough mana. He mutters something about becoming one with the void, forming a bullet to pierce through enemies, and fires it at a tree. It leaves a scorch mark, not nearly as powerful as the punch that shattered a mountain. Frustrated, he scratches his head. Despite all his knowledge, his body refuses to cooperate. He starts questioning whether it's even possible to become a mage in this form. Then, he senses something nearby, not human. A green paw enters view, and a young orc carrying a sword appears. Tessin locks eyes with him. The orc warns him to pretend he saw nothing, or he'll die. Lepenhart estimates the orc is only 3 or 4 years old, likely having fled some battle. Still, the fact that the orc speaks and warns him shows they're not naturally aggressive. They avoid conflict. Tessin asks if the young orc is being hunted. The green child looks confused and asks how Tessin understands his language. He explains he's met a few orcs before. Lowering his head, the orc admits the fates have blessed this encounter. Yes, he is being pursued. Tessin says he can help, but only if the orc trusts him. Anyone fluent in his language feels like a brother, and he senses the orc has a genuine soul. Tessin also notices the orc speaks with a refined, almost noble tone, suggesting some noble blood. He agrees to help, chanting to open a portal inside the cave, assuring the orc that magic will keep him safe. The orc, surprised, asks if he's really a mage. Tessin replies, "Of course." The orc scoffs at his muscular body, saying it makes no sense, but is still grateful. As the orc enters the portal, bounty hunters approach, grumbling about the effort for just a few silver coins. They question him about the orc's presence, one offering a gold coin for the truth. Tessin remains calm, denying seeing anything. One hunter spots tracks, and Tessin reminds them that nobody is allowed in his home. A purple magic circle appears beneath his feet. He recalls his master's words, his fists are the deadliest weapons, using a weapon actually weakens him. He grabs a massive club, warning the hunters they won't die from it. They panic and charge, but Tessin effortlessly turns them into chibi ragdolls. One soldier strikes his ribs, only for his sword to flop. Tessin counters with a hammer blow, flattening them all. Calmly, he reminds them that the weapon isn't lethal. A trembling soldier asks him to identify it. Tessin smacks him, saying he has too much energy to waste on questions. The hunters retreat, apologizing. The orc reappears, deeply grateful for being saved, swearing to remember Tessin until his death. Lepenhart advises that a warrior shouldn't bow so easily. The orc insists Tessin is now his mentor, and when the time comes, he can rely on his sword. In orc culture, a mentor is sacred. The orc asks his name, and Tessin, pausing, introduces himself as Lepenhart Walled Antares. The orc acknowledges the name. They discuss options. Humans dominate the world, so where can he go? The orc suggests the continent is vast, offering a chance for peaceful life. Lepenhart mentions the mountains of Racket, far southeast in the land of challenges, home to the Blue Bear tribe. That's all the orc needed. He thanks him and dashes off. Lepenhart realizes he forgot the orc's name. The orc replies, "I am Tacit, son of Croa, bearer of the last axe." Tacit, one of the 4 great knights who died in his previous life, is now the leader of the Blue Bear tribe. Fate had taken a strange turn. He reflects on the Empire, Tacit, the orcs, the elf girl, and the dwarf. Sitting on the throne, he smiles, hoping to meet them all again someday. 6 months pass. Gerard prepares for a leap, instructing him to brace. Energy bursts forth. You'd expect the kid to be braver now, but he's terrified. Activating the spiral guard just in time, Gerard congratulates him. He's finally mastered it. "Felt like yesterday when you were still running away as Lepenhart," Gerard says. "That was 6 years ago," he replies. Gerard notes they've trained together 10 years, but only now is real progress evident. "Why are you still so short?" he asks. Lepenhart protests. "I'm 1.90 meters. Gerard counters. Descendants of the Academy are usually over 2 meters. Tessin from his old life was 2.3 meters, explaining why he avoids certain techniques. Back at the waterfall, Gerard instructs him to show the final result. Tessin focuses, leaps, and activates the Horn of Calamity. He slams down a 4-layered impact, sending water and rocks flying as if an entire ocean is fracturing. Gerard smiles, announcing Tessin no longer needs beatings to leave the mountain. Lepenhart is stunned. Gerard declares it's finally time. He can leave and live on his terms, good or evil, it doesn't matter. That's the reward for enduring years of brutal training. Gerard shares advice from the 3rd King of Fists 60 years ago. 1. Make money, but never dishonestly. If you'll be a villain, at least be a classy one. 2. Stand by those wronged, even if they're not weaker. Most will be weaker than you anyway. 3. Don't let the legacy of the indomitable die. Someday find a student and pass it on. Lepenhart nods, promising to remember. Gerard tosses him a backpack with money and travel clothes, cautioning that talented students are rare, so don't waste life searching. The pack contains only 30 silver coins, far less than expected, but the journey is just beginning. From what he knows, his master was one of the richest people in the kingdom. But Gerard just shrugs. It's tradition to pay students poorly. When he left, he only got 25 coins. To cheer him up, Gerard mentions a special gift hidden on a certain mountain, marked on the map. Fully dressed, pack on his back, Lepenhart wonders if he can truly leave. Mountain life has become all he knows. He isn't even sure what freedom feels like anymore. Then, a surge of aura rises from the mountain, and Gerard's voice echoes. Don't let this farewell weigh down your departure. Honor the legacy of mastering one of the most powerful techniques in the world. In the city, an old man argues with his boss about paying for lodging and food. The knight tosses a gold coin, thinking it's sufficient. The elder disagrees. The knight punches him in the face, calling him bold for trying to scam a knight. The elder just thinks, these bastards are nothing but bandits. They've taken the house, the food, and now try to offer a single coin in return. Another man intervenes, claiming common people don't deserve mercy. Cut to Lepenhart's old life, skinny, bony, yet accompanied by a smiling blonde elf girl. She once told him he was graceful, like a finely crafted blade. Now, staring in the mirror, he wonders what kind of cursed golem he's become. At least he's taller. Cyrus is about 70 years old in human terms, 17 in elf years. The city of Chrome, in southern Vasily, houses her. She's likely at a slave auction in Chang. Lepenhart considers rescuing her, but interfering might disrupt his own path. Smarter to earn the money first. An elven slave costs a fortune, and he has under 30 silver coins. But that doesn't matter, he has the bodies, mastered techniques, and memories of the future. He remembers a ruin nearby from a past life. Todd, a mage specializing in exploration and tracking, assures Stefan the relics are in the legendary location once explored by swordsman Claude von Leota. 3 days after leaving Chrome, Lepenhart marvels at his body. He can walk for hours without hunger or cold, stamina is endless. His past life skill, artificial phantasmagoria, allows him to recall anything perfectly. Using memories of Todd and Cyrus, he located a stash of treasure in House Aline, gathering over 2,000 gold coins. That's the target. From the mountain, he spots the village of cattle. In the village, elders argue about the Valley of Death. One man, the best climber, volunteers but is terrified. Lepenhart suddenly appears, offering to go instead. Calmly, he tells them he knows the area. He's been there before. Internally, he acknowledges these people are lucky he's saving a life. The Valley of Death, a dungeon from the Silver Era, holds the lost demonic sword of Altian. 50 years ago, a knight died there after awakening his aura too early. Lepenhart joins Stefan's group. Alf remembers comment on his elegance, he observes their joy. He notices the redhead silent, young and beautiful, wondering if she can really cast high-level healing spells. He recalls Todd, his old acquaintance, and notices subtle tension between Cylin and Todd. Todd praises the decision to guide them. Lepenhart observes arrogance in Stefan and inwardly restrains himself from intervening. Suddenly, the woods tremble. Harpies swoop from above. Chaos erupts. Todd summons blazing fire chains, incinerating monsters mid-air. Cylin buffs and heals the group. Lepenhart watches, noting their competence is still amateurish compared to what Gerard taught him. One harpy attacks the supply orcs. Lepenhart intercepts, vaporizing her mid-air. The group fights desperately. Soldiers fall while Stefan hesitates. Cylin orders everyone to take cover. Finally, someone competent. Lepenhart lets minor attacks hit him, testing limits. Stefan calls for damage reports, unconcerned with the rest. He declares the group victorious, resting. Lepenhart thanks Todd for the fire magic. They discuss Lepenhart's friend, the original Lepenhart, and Todd remarks on the kid's kind nature. Lepenhart, slightly embarrassed, realizes he's daydreaming about wholesome things. Cylin interrupts, checking on orcs instead. Soldiers complain she wastes mana on them. Lepenhart observes how poorly the orcs are treated. Hours pass. Soldiers are exhausted after encounters with wolves, ogres, and monsters. Lepenhart leads them straight through, cutting danger efficiently. Stefan mutters understanding Sir Claw's fate, then discovers a dungeon, the ancient ruins of Fulton. Todd confirms. They stop before a massive door. Todd inspects, deems it safe. Stefan rallies the group. Lepenhart offers to wait outside. Stefan insists his job is done. The group charges in, smiling, while Lepenhart wishes them luck. The door shuts. His plan begins. The ruins are full of monsters and wandering spirits. The dungeon, a military base in the Silver Era, is filled with advanced technology. Lepenhart recalls exploring these halls with Saras in his past life. She finds a hidden gate, leading them to the treasure room. Mosaics illuminate, revealing codes in reverse sequences of water and earth symbols. Though his current brain struggles, he eventually decodes it. Shirtless and pumped, he prepares to test his body's limits. Suddenly, screaming erupts from the other side. The treasure is close, but the group likely triggered a trap. Soldiers are already down. From the cavern, demons emerge, 3 in total. Stefan realizes they're outmatched. No human could handle this. Cylin heals the wounded while Todd remarks the real danger lies ahead. The soldiers are hurled like dolls. Harpies, monsters, and spirits close in. Cylin summons radiant blessings, filling the group with courage and energy. Todd marvels at the holy energy output. Rayala charges at a monster, initiating the next phase of the fight. She gets drop-kicked in the back, slammed into the gut, and launched against a wall. Barely conscious, she murmurs she hopes she helped Master Stefan. Stefan growls, "No way I'm going down like this!" He grips his sword, charging forward with the name of House Alton and the title of Resolute on his shoulders. A blade strike seems effective, but the demon backhands him, sending him spinning through the air. He hits the ground like a sack of trash and blacks out. Sin is there, hands glowing with holy magic, shouting for Stefan to wake up. Actually, it's Sillin who blasts the boss demon with divine power, smashing him with a massive staff. The demon doesn't die. Slowly it turns, locking eyes on Sillin, who freezes in terror. Suddenly, Lepenhardt appears. Calm, casual, carrying Elfrill in his arms, he punches monsters aside like they're nothing. Sillin and Todd are wide-eyed. Who is this guy? Stefan awakens, half-broken, staring at the monster corpses. Shocked, he approaches Lepenhardt, asking his name. Almost revealing Lepenhardt, he settles on. Lepen. Stefan presses on about noble lineage. Lepenhardt replies. None. That makes Stefan furious, humiliation searing through him. Stefan's rage turns to grudging respect. Fine, you handled the aftermath. My little skill wasn't useless, after all. Lepenhardt brushes it off. That punch clearly messed with Stefan's memory. Edward, observing quietly, notices Lepenhardt commands authority naturally, regardless of age or rank. Sillin approaches, eyes sparkling. Wait, your name is Lepen? How tall are you? 6 feet 3 inches. Sillin glows like a Christmas tree. He pesters Lepenhardt about his physique. Just lifted heavy stuff. He shrugs. Observing the boy's bright, longing eyes, Lepenhardt guesses he's an orphan who never developed muscle and longs for strength. Later, Lepenhardt escorts the group. Stefan fumes internally. How dare a commoner save him? More demons appear. Lepenhardt casually punches aside creatures, strolls down a corridor, finds a magic sack that makes items 10 times lighter, and locates other treasures, including the sapphire backflow dagger. Stefan wakes groggy, muttering thanks. Lepenhardt smiles dryly. Count on me. I'll probably knock you out again anyway. The group reaches a massive door, expecting the exit, but it's the boss room. Stefan braces, tense. The creature, Gra, lets out a terrifying roar. Lepenhardt immediately warns. Retreat. You don't stand a chance. One soldier points out the legendary blade of Altium in the demon's hand. Stefan ignores caution, rallying his team. Lepenhardt shakes his head. This guy's an idiot. The dungeon's guardian, fused with the system itself, grows stronger than ever. Stefan's bravado persists, Edward fights with moderate skill, and Sillin channels divine spells. Soldiers charge and are thrown aside by the beast's spinning blade. Lepenhardt watches. Stefan will never take reason. Edward might learn, eventually. Phase 2 begins. The creature speaks a bizarre language. Soldiers are blown back. Chaos ensues. Stefan charges again, hit hard, but stands bloody and determined. I'm fine. Trust me. Elsa attacks with a whirlwind of slashes but is scorched by fire. Sillin prays, buffing everyone. Now alone with the beast, Lepenhardt activates his aura. For the first time, he feels the thrill of testing his fully trained body against an unpredictable foe.